Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kitty. On my channel, I do like to do scary stories. Sometimes I do occasional vlogs, makeup related videos. We do a ton of live streams, stories of my personal life, and sometimes we do shopping hauls. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. Before I go any further, I do want to announce today's sponsor of the video. It is Shein. Shein is a huge company that I myself have ordered from in the past. Many of you, it's very popular on social media, very affordable clothing. They were able and kind enough to send me some items, and I chose 3 of my favorite colors to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the clips right now. So the first shirt that I got is this red one. It's kind of plain. It's like, t-shirt, but very comfortable. I wanted to choose t-shirts so that I can wear them with my skirts when I go out and do my sales. And this one right here has a puff sleeve. So make sure to go check out my shop list. If there's a top that you happen to like, make sure to look down below, and I'll put it right here as well. I will put my personal code where you can go ahead and enter it on the website, and it'll take you straight to my shopping list, and all the items that I received will show up there. And Shein also gave you guys a discount code to use, which will be right here as well as down below. The discount code is right here. Go ahead and use that to save some money at checkout. Thank you, Shein, for sponsoring this video. Hi, Miss Kitty. My name is Vanessa. I am from Alberta, Canada, from a Cree nation called Musquatchees. I hope I said that right. My daughter and I enjoy listening to your stories. Thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure to share my stories with all of your friends and family so that we can reach a big native platform and we can inspire others to share their stories as well. So this house I will be talking about is haunted. My mom told me this scary story. Before my mom inherited the house, her uncle owned it. There was a lot of partying going on in that house in his days. This house had 3 bedrooms, washroom, living room, kitchen, and a dining room all upstairs. In the first large bedroom, my grandfather built a long bar. The only way to get it out would be to tear it up. He built it in the room. This is where my grandfather would host parties. So now my mom lives in the house and her brother moves into the large room. He partied a lot himself. Not rank, but loud music and lots of laughter was common. So my mom is up. It's morning. She said all night her brother seemed to be listening to loud music and had visitors over because she could hear the music, talking, and laughing. This was normal, but she was heading off to work and went downstairs to tell him that she was heading away. She goes to open the first foyer and she saw a light at the bottom of the bedroom door. She can hear what sounds like a party going on with all the laughing and music. She knocks and proceeds to open the door. As soon as she opens the bedroom door, the room is dark. Nobody's there. No people, no music, nobody, nothing. She ran out of the house and was shook. Later, she talks to her brother, who said he never made it home that night before. Yes, like who the heck was partying in there? All those spirits still go back to that room to relive their party days. LOL. I lived in a different community than my sister, about 3 hours drive away. I just had a baby and he was probably 3 months old. I went to visit my sister for a couple days. I had slept at her place before. I slept in her bed with her. This time she put me in one of the bedrooms upstairs. I usually sleep with my bedroom door closed, and she asked if I wanted the door open or shut. I asked her to leave it partially open and asked if she could leave the hall light on. I never sleep with the lights on, so these should have been red flags that something was up. I laid my infant on the bed and turned to cuddle him. Behind me, against the wall, was a long dresser that had a mirror attached. I heard a noise, what sounded like, when a plastic bottle gets squeezed, that crackling plastic noise. That was what it sounded like. Trying to convince myself, oh, maybe they have mice. She did live on the res, lol. So I ignored the noise and quickly fell asleep. Don't know what time it was, but I woke up. I suddenly felt weird, like someone was in the small bedroom with my baby and I. It was dark in this room, except for the light that was streaming in from the partially open door. I'm staring into the darkness in the opposite corner from where I heard the previous mouse noise. My head was propped up so I could hear the mouse, or so I hoped. Then I hear shuffling noise. There's no way a mouse could make that loud noise. I freeze in fear, listening intensely. I then picked up my cell to call my partner. I told him that I think there's a spirit in the room with baby and I. I asked him to pray. He said okay and hung up. And in that moment, it was like I could hear my partner praying in our Cree native language. In that very same moment, I felt the strong, scary presence come forth from another loud noise in the closet. My body was in shock with fear. I sensed in my head the words, "Get out." I grabbed my little baby diaper bag and dashed out of that room so fast. Whatever was in that room did not want us there. As soon as I heard my partner praying in my head, I was confronted with this angry energy telling me to get out. In my mind, it's like I could see it was a man. I stayed up the rest of the night terrified. The next day, when I told my sister what happened, she told me stories of seeing black shadows move in the corner of her eye and feelings of being watched from time to time. That night, I was too scared to sleep at her house again, so I went to my cousin's to sleep. It did not go well, lol. My baby and I were sleeping in one of my kids' room. I was sleeping away, minding my own business, when all of a sudden I woke up and felt like I was being watched. I looked up towards the bedroom door. The hallway light was on, but no one was there. I became instantly paralyzed. My body froze. I couldn't say anything or even holler to help. Every time I tried to move, I felt this tingling sensation around my body. When I tried to say something, it sounded like it was mooing. I just stayed like that for a long time, and then it was over. Yep, my cousin and her partner said they never experienced anything spooky while living there. My sister concluded that I am the haunted one. It could be, man. I think people just have spirits that attach themselves. So be careful, say your prayers, do what you gotta do, and however you believe, and get rid of it, because there really is such thing as things attaching themselves to you. Thank you for your story. Let's get into the last one. I am a tribal member of the Lower Elwha Klalem tribe, Lekt. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Located in the Pacific Northwest or Olympic Peninsula of Port Angeles, Washington. When I was in my teens, my best friend and I would visit our friends and family on the Lower Elwha Res. The evening we decided to go visit was a warmer evening around dusk, and we arrived at my sister Colleen's house. We noticed when we pulled up, the house was dark inside. The curtains and the energy in the res was somber and quiet. When we got out of the car, we heard this loud howl or scream that seemed to be coming from the direction of the Elwha River. It was about a mile away from the house. We both looked at each other and ran into the house feeling spooked and very anxious. My sister was almost pissed because she had to open the door for us. I was like, "What's going on?" My sister says, "It's Bigfoot. Get in here, sit down, and stay away from the windows." We could hear Bigfoot howling, screaming, communicating with other Sasquatch or whatever it was communicating with. If you have ever heard Bigfoot howl or scream, you know it's a very distinct sound. It's unlike any other sound you will ever hear. This was the first time my friend and I have ever heard him communicate before. We all sat there freaked out, listening to him for about 30 minutes. I tried to ask questions, but we mainly sat and looked at each other in disbelief. I asked my sister some questions like, "Where is he? What is he doing?" My sister responded, "He's down at the river catching salmon." She said that he comes to eat our salmon and walks up the valley by the river. You could hear knocking on the trees, and his howl was so clear that it echoed throughout the valley. She opened the curtain to the main window in the back of the house. There was muddy handprints on the window. She closed the curtains quickly and said he was here a few days ago, and those are his handprints. She said, "See how tall he is?" He was looking in the window, and we were so scared. She said that's why she don't look out the windows when he's here. My sister said, "Don't look him in the eyes. His eyes are red and will take your soul." That's what happened to Jimmy down the road. Jimmy went crazy after looking Sasquatch in the eye. We noticed the echoes of the Bigfoot were fading as he was getting further away from the res, back into the mountains. My friend and I thought it was a good time to bail and drive into town. That was the only time I had ever heard Bigfoot live in person. I ended up moving to the city to go to college and get a job. I did watch a few shows on TV that claimed they have recordings of Bigfoot communicating, and it stops me in my track every time. Until this day, I will never forget that distinct howl or scream. My auntie says she hears him periodically, but the same thing happens. The res shuts down and everyone gets quiet. Everyone knows to just let him fish, and then he moves on. Thank you for listening. That was by Chunky Soul. Thank you for sending that in. That's crazy. We have, I've heard a couple of Bigfoot stories on our res, but nothing crazy. I told one, in my earlier videos, about when my uncles were out partying and they could smell something, and something was creeping around them. And then one of my son's grandmas was out in the mountains too, and they were the only ones out in the middle of nowhere trying to watch over the camp, and they were in the tent, and Bigfoot was walking around the tent and just digging around in food and stuff, and just stuff like that. But I don't think I've heard anything else. Some people say that they hear him yelling at night in Gilson Wash area, but if anybody from San Carlos, especially White River, anybody who has Bigfoot stories, send them in. We would love to hear your story. With that being said, thank you guys for sending in your stories. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up so that YouTube can push this video out to people all over the world, all nations, all reservations worldwide. Our goal here on this channel is to reach Native Americans, anybody who's willing to share their scary stories. We do like Native American stories. I love to hear Native American stories. So if you guys are from our reservation in Canada, Mexico, US, and you guys have a scary story, please do not hesitate to send it in. You can remain anonymous. We don't mention names. All we ask is where the incident took place. That's it. All you gotta do is email it to WhatWouldKittyDo12@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to get to it as soon as I can. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.